Welcome to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy, wisdom, and healing, where we explore how energy shapes your life and how you can shift it to thrive in every area physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Each week, we'll dive into practical tools, real-world examples, and quantum energy perspectives to help you stay positive, navigate challenges, and reclaim your personal power. Whether you're dealing with stress, seeking balance, or curious about the energetic world around you, this is your space for insight, growth, and transformation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Release Your Potential Now with Jane. I'm Jane Phillips, and today we're starting a Be My Valentine mini-series for the month of February, beginning with the kind of love that's easiest to ignore. The love you give to yourself. If you're someone who's hard on yourself, self-critical, or feel a little uncomfortable when support or tenderness comes your way, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about why self-love can feel strangely unsafe and how to begin softening the inner critic so loving yourself starts to feel possible, not threatening. I'd like to introduce you to a concept that can be really eye-opening. The idea of being allergic to an idea. Most of us think allergies are something physical, like pollen or food. But there's also the possibility that your system can react to a concept the way it would react to a threat. Dr. Bradley Nelson, in his book, The Body Code, mentions the concept of an idea allergen that is relevant to our topic of love today. Think of an idea allergen as an energetic or emotional incompatibility with a concept. You may want the thing intellectually, love or connection, ease, but your system experiences it like a threat. An idea allergen isn't a belief you chose. It's a reaction your system learned. And when your system reacts to love like it's danger, you don't need more affirmations, you need more safety. It's not a character flaw. It's often a protective response based upon past pain, betrayal, loss, humiliation, or feeling unsafe. I want to talk about 6 idea allergens related to love that may show up in your life. The first one is being allergic to love. It feels inside like this. Possibly love is dangerous. Love costs too much. Love makes me weak. And how it shows up for you is choosing emotionally unavailable people to keep a safer distance, or feeling suspicious when things are calm. Like, what's the catch? Self-sabotaging right when things get good. Minimizing feelings, intellectualizing everything, and staying busy so you don't feel tenderness. So the way you notice this every day, you can't really relax into good, and you have a hard time feeling cherished without bracing. You're just nervous about it. So that is one of 6, and I'm going to go through the next one, which is being allergic to giving love. So how it feels inside of you might be, if I give, I'll be drained. I'll lose myself in it. I won't be appreciated. And what happens on your end is you end up overgiving. Then you have resentment because you didn't voice your needs. And so the other person didn't read your mind. And you resent that they're not getting the message. So you're overgiving, hoping that they'll finally figure it out. Or it might be that inside you're saying, I do everything. So you kind of got a martyr pattern going on. Or you might have difficulty offering affection to somebody unless that other person has earned it, right? That could be a pattern. Or maybe stepping back and letting somebody else go first. So I'm not going to go first in this relationship. So what you notice sort of every day is generosity comes with pressure, performance, or some unspoken contract that's going on. So maybe this is you. This is the third one, being allergic to receiving love. So how it might feel inside of you is receiving puts me in debt, meaning I'll owe this other person. I'll owe them. I'll be seen. I'll be trapped. And how it shows up in your behaviors is you deflect compliments from people. Oh, it was nothing. No, you didn't put me out at all. All of that. Or it turns into a power struggle of I can do this myself, right? You can't receive from someone else. I'm going to do it myself. Or you feel awkward when someone is kind and you find yourself pulling away because you don't know how to respond to that. Or you might end up picking up somebody who's sending you positive things, and you might just end up noticing their imperfections to reduce vulnerability. So, and you can have guilt after being cared for. That's around the allergy to receiving love. And what you notice every day is your behavior is you give all day, but receiving feels exposing. And so it's really not comfortable at all. So you continue to give. And this is a two-sided coin, that giving and receiving. So if one person can only give and the other person only receives, you might be all right. But there's a give and take to that in this world. And so learning to do both is really important. And the second to the last idea of allergies is being allergic to connection. So how it might feel inside of you is being connected equals vulnerability, and vulnerability might equal pain down the road. And how it shows up in your behaviors is keeping relationships pleasant but surface. They're not really deep. You avoid deep conversations, and you can cover up by using humor or storytelling to dodge your feelings. And you could have hyper independence. So I'm fine can be a default. No, I'm fine. Or social fatigue, meaning crowded by people's needs instead of just embracing some of this. Or feeling lonely, but also feeling overwhelmed by too much closeness. And introverts, of course, have to deal with that all the time, and that's me too. So what you notice every day is you want closeness, but you don't know how to do it. You feel trapped or irritated when it arrives because you need more space. The next one is being allergic to letting go. And how it feels inside is if you let go, if I let go, something bad will happen and I won't be ready. So there's this rumination that happens. You're constantly replaying or obsessing about things. And you're holding grudges, for example, because releasing feels like you might be losing power. Or perfectionism is there. Difficulty forgiving yourself or others is part of being allergic to letting go. And physical tension, which could be your jaw and your shoulders and your gut. And then the last one is allergic to going with the flow. And how that feels is flow is unsafe and I need structure to survive. And going with the flow is everybody likes to have some sort of certainty in their life, but sometimes the timing of what you're hoping for isn't quite there, and sitting in it feels really unsafe and makes you nervous. So what happens, how it shows up in your life is you're over planning, you over explain things to people, and you're over preparing for things. And then what happens if what you've prepared for doesn't work, then that just sort of reinforces that something's off, but you're still nervous. So you overplan, you panic when plans change, and you're really irritable with spontaneity. So if it's not optimized, it's wrong. You have trouble resting because if you're resting, you feel like you're falling behind. And you feel safest when you're needed, not when you're just in that peaceful place. So every day tells or noticing about that is that ease feels unfamiliar to you and calm feels kind of suspicious. So what we talked about here is it's possible to have allergies to an idea, especially when we're talking about love. You don't think about some of that, but the things we talked about, you can be allergic to love or giving love, or allergic to receiving love or connection or going with the flow. All of those things are possibilities that can create blocks in your life that you don't need to have. So I have a quick message right now in the middle of this. But if you've ever felt like you want a deeper connection, but something in you stays guarded, likely there's a wall between you and other people, and you may not be dealing with it well, and it might be a heart wall, a layer of trapped emotions that form to protect you, to help you feel emotionally safe. The problem is, what protects you also blocks real closeness, trust, and receiving love. When the heart wall is released, people often notice that they feel connection more naturally, and when emotional hits happen, they move forward faster instead of lingering for days or turning stress into turning into stress in the body. So if you're curious about heart wall removal, that is something I do, and I can support people with clearing what's been keeping you guarded. And if you have an interest in that, this is a good month to get yourself set up, especially if you're going to do something for Valentine's Day, so that you're open to whatever happens that day. But you can go to janecphillips.com and book a session just to find out more about what I do with this. And then we can have a discussion about it. And if it feels like it's a fit, I'm happy to help you with heart wall removal. I know it's helped me a lot. So what can you do? I've given you all these things that are possibly creating a problem, or your go-to things that you do. So I want to give you some ideas of what you might do to kind of help yourself through some of these. And I also do private sessions for this kind of stuff. But for the purpose of the podcast, I want to give you some exercises that might be helpful. So one of the things that I'd like you to do, we'll pause for just a few seconds. And if you're watching this as a replay, then you can just pause the tape. But I want you to just think, what happens in my body when I receive? So imagine that someone's offering you a compliment or help or some affection. Now notice, just take a minute, pick one of those scenarios, and what happens to your body? Do you get a tight chest? Does your jaw clench? Do you have an urge to deflect and say, no, I'm fine, or I don't need help, or what of that? Or do you change the subject? That's another one that people do. They just ignore it and change the subject. So the person who's trying to send you something positive, it just gets thrown to the side. So not only have you deflected, but you've also kind of sent a message back to the person who's trying to be kind to you that is not welcome. So think about that. What happens when you receive? And then there's another thing, I call this a micro shift, to soften things. So if you're having a reaction when somebody offers to help you or be kind, pause for a minute and go inside and notice, are you judging yourself? Or is this a little bit too sensitive for you? You're not ready for that. Or you're telling yourself, I don't have to be perfect to be worthy. So you can place these thoughts with something that's more positive, even if you're not sure right now about it. So that's another thought you can do. Another idea is allow yourself to tolerate support for 10 seconds. And that does not seem like a lot unless you're doing the 10 seconds yourself. So you can pause for a moment when someone is kind. Instead of just swatting it away, you can say, thank you. That's all you have to say. You don't have to go on and on. Or maybe it's throws you a little bit and you can say, well, I'm letting that land, right? Or you can say that means a lot. And you may not be sure that that means a lot, but it's giving feedback to the other person that their kindness was received. And you can let it be awkward. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's your nervous system figuring out that you can be all right. Another idea for you is to have like a ritual that you do every day, which is just get used to receiving. And without having to fix anything, you can go into what would feel supportive right now to me, and like hold your hand on your heart, or hand on your heart and your navel area, and just ask, what would feel supportive right now, without fixing me. It's not, you're not talking about fixing yourself. You're just asking what would feel supportive, because you want to learn what's important to you right now. You have so many blocks, we each of us do in our own way, that you don't know what's going to be supportive. And so love is a capacity you build. Love isn't a light switch you just turn on. It's a muscle and a safety signal. So each small moment of self-kindness teaches your system, I'm safe with me. So if you need more support as a certified medical intuitive and body code practitioner, I can give you the support you need to help release some of these trapped beliefs that are holding you back. It's not as difficult. It isn't talk therapy. It's basically erasing the beliefs you have created in your system that are getting in your way of experiencing love and kindness in a way that you deserve. So if today's episode hit home, I want you to remember this. You don't have to force love. You can create safety for love. Start small. Notice the inner critic. Soften just one edge of self-judgment, and practice receiving support for a few extra seconds before you push it away. That's real progress. I'd like to thank you for spending this time with me on Release Your Potential Now with Jane. And next week, we'll continue the Valentine theme by exploring another layer of self-love, how to care for yourself in a more physical, grounded way. So until then, be gentle with yourself, just a little more than you were yesterday. I'm Jane Phillips, and this has been Release Your Potential Now with Jane. Thank you.
You've been listening to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy wisdom and healing. Tune in on Transformation Talk Radio to unlock the power of energy healing and transform your life one insight at a time. Share this episode with a friend who's feeling stuck and might benefit from a little extra support on their journey. Together, we can create a ripple effect of healing and positivity, empowering individuals to live healthier, more joyful lives. Are you ready to gain control of your life and health? Then visit janecphillips.com to book a session, join a workshop, or explore how energy wisdom can help you heal and thrive.